Hi there, welcome back. My name is Ahmad, and I work with some of the world's richest families to help get their kids into the Ivy League and other top 20 universities. As a double Ivy grad myself, I understand that, when it comes to college admissions, the stakes are high, there's a lot of pressure put on you, and on this channel, I really try to make some of your life easier. I understand there's a lot of externalities that, are just difficult for you to control, but there are some tips that can make your life infinitely more um, easier, better, and just to get out of that kind of headspace of you not having control over a lot of things. So today, what I want to talk about is a continuation of another video I had started about how to sort of get your foot in the door of top summer programs. And one of the ways was cold emailing. It's something that a lot of people they underutilize just because of how unsuccessful it can be, right? But it can be very successful if you know what you're doing. And in that video, I had talked about specifically how to construct an email that will yield better results, right? That doesn't sound generic, that doesn't sound uninterested. So that on the other end, if you're reaching out to a professor, to a lab, to a graduate student, who's reading it actually takes interest and gets back to you, right? And increasing your chances of really finding that really nice and specific summer program for you. Check that video out if you want to get those specifics. But what I do want to kind of talk about a little bit today is how do you try to get your foot into the door for a university that you have no connection to? So let's say you're a junior and you're about to apply to a couple universities, and in a couple months you're going to be seeing their supplement, the dreaded why us? Why our university? Why are you applying here out of all the universities in the country? What is it about us that you think makes it a good fit for you, and vice versa? And aside from all of the canned answers, one of the best ways to answer this is using an experience, a personal anecdote that you had when you interacted with the university in some fashion. For example, let's say you did a tour at the university and you spoke to somebody at the admissions office, or you saw a statue, or you saw a quote somewhere, or you stood in front of a building, an iconic building on campus, and you can really describe that experience in a way that is meaningful to you. That'll help you stand out a lot more than somebody else who generically lists the most interesting facts about the university that they have on their website. So let's say you haven't done that. You haven't had the chance to tour, you haven't had the chance to do a summer program at that university, you haven't done research with any professor there. What can you do to help you stand out from the crowd to actually get there? Okay, so let's get into it. The way that you can do that, especially if you have very few months left, like again, if you're a junior and you have a few months left, is you essentially identify the professors you would like to work at your schools of target. So let's say you have three schools that you're really interested in and you're willing to put in the work for. For those three universities, you will go on to the school's websites and again look at the departments for your major of interest. So if you are a computer science major, you're a classics major, you're a biology major, go to those schools' department websites and look at the faculty there and identify up to 3 to 4 faculty whose work you're actually interested in. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and send them an email. Again, these are just the faculty, not anybody else, no other students, no grad students or undergrads. You're looking to go straight to the faculty. And you're going to email them, and essentially what the email is supposed to say is, hey, I am so and so from this high school. I have a deep interest in pursuing a career in whatever field, and I wanted to see if you had the opportunity to speak to me a little bit for 10 to 15 minutes over Zoom. Now, assuming that you're far away from this university, so you would offer an online meeting, but if not, ask them for a coffee meeting, maybe in person if you are close by to the university. Be like, hey, would you mind if I buy you coffee? And I would love to kind of pick your brain a little bit about the university that I am applying to. Let's say I'm applying to Columbia this fall. I would love to pick your brain a little bit about the university and also discuss your research a little bit, as this is something that I want to do. Now, hopefully, that'll actually get you an interest from the professor. But the thing you wanted to kind of keep in mind is that, again, it's a numbers game. You want to reach out to as many people as possible. Now, there are two ways that this could play out. One is they can say yes, they have the meeting online with you or in person, and you sit down, you talk to them, and you have a wonderful time, you pick their brain, and they remember you, hopefully. Or they say they don't have the time, and what you end up doing is that you follow up with them and say, well, thank you so much for getting back to me. I understand that you are busy. Would you mind giving me any recommendations to read? I've read your publications on this and that, and actually do read those publications. But do you have any recommended books on, economic theory? Let's say if you're an econ major, I really want to understand game theory a little bit more. And hopefully they get back to you and they say, oh, of course, yeah, how about you read this, this, and that? And then the next step afterwards is that you actually follow through and read up on those books, and then you get back to them and tell them, hey, I really love that recommendation. Here are some of the things that I learned, top 3, top 4 things I learned from reading that book, and I would love to continue being in contact with you later on. Now, this process could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months, depending on when they get back to you, when you are able to meet them, how fast their communication is. But a 2 to 3 month investment, very low investment, I may say. You may spend like half an hour trying to find their contact on their website, actually spending maybe 10, 15 minutes sending out emails overall, maybe spending 3 to 4 hours reading the book. All of this is less than maybe a 10-hour commitment over a period of 2 to 3 months that will really, really change your prospect of when applying to a university you have no real connection to. Because watch this. Now, fast forward, you're writing the supplement for, let's say, Columbia's Why Us. And now you can talk about, oh, well, I actually spoke to Professor Johnson at the school's physics department. And, when I met him, I had picked his brain a little bit about, his theories on quantum theory and why he decided to choose that specific field and how I could follow in his footsteps and the types of research that he does. And this is actually something that I really felt I can contribute if I were to be accepted, and so on and so forth. Think about this for a second. How many students applying to Columbia will actually be able to say they had reached out to professors, sat down, had a coffee date with them or a coffee meeting, and picked their brain about it, and then followed up and read a book they recommended and followed up again with them? That shows to the university a level of investment in that particular university that is just above and beyond what most people are doing. A lot of people, they apply to Columbia or any likewise similar school because, it has a great name, but what real connection do you have to the university? Columbia could fill their class 10 times over with students interested in the name of Columbia, but how many have actually put in the work to showcase a demonstrated interest in the university? And that is what you could be able to showcase without having to go anywhere and really do anything or attend a summer-long program at that university. And then hopefully that'll kind of get your foot into the door, again, in those 2 to 3 universities that you really are keen in making those kinds of connections. So let me know what your thoughts are. Have you tried this before? And if not, maybe you can tell me about some of the universities that you're hoping to reach out to, and I can provide a little bit of advice if you like. Leave some in the comments below. See you in the next video.